Welcome back to Kabiga's Reviews. Today we're looking at The Suicide Squad, the 2021 film directed by James Gunn and starring Margot Robbie, Idris Elba, John Cena, Joel Kinnaman, Sylvester Stallone, Viola Davis, Jai Courtney, and Peter Capaldi, among others. The government sends Task Force X, made up of the most dangerous supervillains in the world, including Bloodsport, Peacemaker, Captain Boomerang, Ratcatcher 2, Savant, King Shark, Blackguard, Javelin, and everyone's favourite psycho Harley Quinn, to a remote, enemy-infused island of Corto Maltese. There, they have to destroy Jotunheim, a Nazi-era prison and laboratory which held political prisoners and conducted illegal experiments. Armed with high-tech weapons, they trek through the dangerous jungle with only Col.Rick Flag on the ground to make them behave. As always, one wrong move and they're dead. If anyone's laying down bets, the smart money is against them. All of them. So, The Suicide Squad. Reboot or sequel? Well, to be honest, I think a bit of both, and that's just my opinion. It certainly has a continuation from the old Suicide Squad in certain characters reprising their roles, but the tone is so different. And within the first few minutes, I mean, okay, listen, slight spoilers ahead, maybe. But really it's called The Suicide Squad, so the fact that I'm about to tell you some characters live and some don't really shouldn't be a surprise to you. But within the first scenes, there are some characters that don't quite make it, alright? And that is where it becomes kind of a reboot. It kind of clears the decks so that there are new characters that can come forward, getting rid of the old and letting you move on with the new, so to speak. So they end up on this island of Corto Maltese, and it's really interesting because as you're watching it, you think you know what's going on, and then all of a sudden, actually you don't. You think you do, but you don't. So that was really interesting to me. I really found that compelling as a viewer. It wasn't just a silly, flippant movie. You know, I mean, this film has got a talking shark in it, and you know, a giant starfish. So, and a guy that basically throws polka dots at people. You know, you could look at it and think, really? But I'm here to tell you that it is actually thoroughly entertaining. The shark is surprisingly funny, voiced by Sylvester Stallone. It is really, really quite endearing. And the guy who does the polka dot man, whatever you want to call him, is actually quite a tragic character and quite an amusing character at the same time. And his ability, his power is explained really well. And I felt that it made him less of a joke and more of an actual member of the Suicide Squad. So that's the new characters aside. Harley Quinn returns, and she is my favourite character out of this entire series. I absolutely love Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, but she absolutely steals the scenes, and she is badass as ever. But she doesn't outshine any of the other characters. I'm here to tell you, one of my favourite aspects of this movie is that everybody gets an equal slice of the pie. James Gunn has done really, really well with this. I mean, he's got Idris Elba's Bloodsport, you've got John Cena's Peacemaker, you've got Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, and they could all outshine each other. There could be a tendency, but I tell you what, they all get equal treatment. And it is really, really good to see. They all get their chance to shine. They all get their moment in the sun, if you like. But nobody is more than anybody else. I mean, I loved Harley Quinn, as I've just said. But for me, the whole ensemble, the whole point of it is this group of people, you know? And that brings me nicely to my next point that I want to say. This film is not for kids. It's not a family movie. 100% not a family movie. If you're thinking of taking your kids to see The Suicide Squad, no. Okay, maybe young teens, that's up to you. But there's a heck of a lot of swearing in this. There's a heck of a lot of gore in this, a lot of blood, and it is quite violent. So my advice, do not take the family to see this film, but go see this film. It is brilliant. It is really funny. It is like Guardians of the Galaxy, but R-rated. And it's that kind of thing where he's got a group of people, mishmash people, and put them together in a situation where they don't quite get on, and it just works. And I think James Gunn potentially was the right guy for the job, as proved by the success of Guardians of the Galaxy. So, negatives. There was a couple of things. Firstly, Weasel. What the hell? Honestly, I didn't like that character, and I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. But for me, I suppose it's like, you know, if you can accept Rocket Raccoon, why not a Weasel? You know, fair enough. I admit that. But really, you know, I didn't like the Weasel. And also, Bloodsport, as good as he is, Idris Elba's Bloodsport, his weapons were just ridiculous. Honestly ridiculous. They were cartoonish, you know, and I'm not talking about the CGI. I mean, they looked good, but they were just ridiculous, especially in the climactic battle at the end of the film. And he's taking parts off his body, sticking them on, and it's just transforming into this massive big, starts off with a little pistol and it ends up being this massive big like shotgun thing. And it's just like, really? Come on. But that being said, if you can accept a walking weasel and a giant starfish, why not a gun that transforms? Okay, and a talking shark. So fair enough, you know, I'm not perfect, but those were the two things that I found a little bit too much for me, were Weasel and Bloodsport's guns, his weapons that would just seem never ending and absolutely endless. One thing that really pleasantly surprised me was how much I enjoyed King Shark, and the fact that Starro, the big starfish, is actually not as comically stupid as I expected. So that was a real pleasant bonus for me. I quite enjoyed that, and this is so much better than the first Suicide Squad. It's actually better than Birds of Prey, which is something, because I really enjoyed that. I really rated that film. But it is so far superior to the old Suicide Squad, and so much better, so much more fun. There's also a post-credit scene. So if you do go see it, it's worth the wait, because it does set up something else. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I do know what it is because I've read a bit about it and I know a bit about it, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's worth the wait. Stay till the end of the credits, and you'll see as it sets up something for the future. So, The Suicide Squad, the new movie from James Gunn, 2021. I'm going to rate this as 8 out of 10. And I'm going to tell you guys, if you get a chance to see The Suicide Squad, definitely watch it. It's a really good, enjoyable, fun and energetic ride brought to you by James Gunn. So, 8 out of 10, watch it. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, drop us a like and subscribe to see all future content.